This segment is sponsored by Shakespeare at Notre Dame. It's Shakespeare like you've never seen it before, literally. The Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival is presenting the world premiere of Hamlet 50/50, a production designed to create a more balanced and equal company of both cast and crew. And we are joined today by Maddie and Xavier, two of the cast members of the show, two of the stars of the show. Thank you both so much for being here this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I want to jump right in with both of your characters. I think some people, maybe they've read Hamlet, but it's been a little while. Maybe they're not super familiar with the story. Maddie, let's start with you. Who are you playing in the show?
I am playing Ophelia, the basically girlfriend of Hamlet title character, Prince of Denmark.
What about you, Xavier?
I'm playing Hamlet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the prince of Denmark.
Right, and for anyone who's not familiar with the story as well, could you give me a little overview? Which one of you wants to take the overview? I know this is a big task.
Okay, I'll take it. So basically, what's happening with the show is I'm off at school. I'm off at Wittenberg, and then I get news that my father has passed away. So I come back to a completely different type of kingdom than when I left. So my father has left. I've come here for his funeral, and I happen to also be here for my mother's marriage, which I did not expect to happen. And she's marrying my uncle, my father's brother. And then the play kind of takes a turn when I find out how that my father was, one, murdered, and two, who he was murdered by. And also three, he gives me instructions on to take revenge for his murder.
So we won't reveal all of the rest of that too, but thank you for setting that up for everyone to come and really experience this, maybe experience it again in a different way. And it really is a new take on the story. Maddie, can you tell me about the 50/50 aspect that makes this show really unique?
Yeah, so what the adapters, Vanessa Morosco, Peter Simon Hilton, have done is they've basically dispersed all of the lines in the play so they would be equally taken by both female and male identifying people. So a lot of Hamlet speeches are given to female characters or shared with female characters, like Horatio being played by a woman. They have a lot of soliloquies that they now share. I'm very excited. I get to say to be or not to be.
Oh, you get to. Excellent.
Yeah,
Are you
as
holding
Ophelia.
this
So that's something I would probably never get to do unless I played a female version of Hamlet. Right. So yeah, it's stuff like that. And it just makes the story a little bit more accessible to modern audiences. We don't have little 14-year-old boys playing female characters like Shakespeare used to
Right,
use.
as it was in the original version.
Yeah, we have actual women that can, fill these roles. And yeah.
Yeah, providing that agency too to some people, like you said, who might have not been able to make some of these incredible monologues and speeches in the original show. So Xavier, how has this 50/50 aspect really changed the whole production for you, from working, in the scenes themselves to also seeing the interaction of the cast and crew and really everything?
I mean, honestly, not a ton has changed on my end in terms of what I need to accomplish. And actually having Horatio, we call it colloquies.
I like that.
We newly minted that term, and it actually, I still have my one soliloquy, which is it's fine, and then you have this colloquy, which me and Horatio are bouncing ideas off of each other. So it really helps provide that, instead of the audience being my scene partner in that one, I actually have someone on stage with me. So so the tactics can change. It's a lot more exciting to have someone with you that's bouncing ideas off of you. But other than that, I mean, I'm still on my same track, and I haven't really thought about it in any other way except everyone has capacity, mentally and emotionally, to do all these things. So I love the fact that I get to have Horatio on stage with me in times where that character wouldn't.
I love it. For it to be so collaborative too, and to really bring everybody together and to give people more equal share in the show. Well, thanks to both of you so much for joining us this morning, for telling us about the show, this world premiere that I'm sure people don't want to miss. So we'll give them all of that information about Hamlet 50/50 that is going to be premiering August 15th and running through the 27th. You can give them a call at 574-631-3777. Visit Shakespeare.nd.edu or check them out on Facebook. Get ready for a swashbuckling good time, or in this case, a tragedy, because this is an adaptation of Hamlet. And James and Tim are cast members of Hamlet 50/50, joining us today for the world premiere performance from the Notre Dame Shakespeare Festival. They are ready to show us something that you should probably not try at home.
No,
so
definitely not.
Don't bring these swords into your home, but thank you both for being here so much.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Well, we are excited to talk about sword fighting too. So, James, let's start with you. How long have you been sword fighting or working with stage combat, as it is technically called, and which character are you playing in the show?
Awesome. Well, Tim and I both have been doing stage combat for about 2 years now. We studied under Matt Hawkins at the University of Notre Dame. He's a great fight choreographer. We play a variety of characters throughout the show. I think, Ghost, Priest, Ronaldo, which is my favorite one. Tim plays a couple too.
I play. What's your favorite one?
The first Gravedigger is a character in Act 5.
He's hilarious.
A great time. And then also a player in the Dumb Show and part of the ghost polycule, as we call it. So there's not just one ghost. There's many a ghost.
Well, I have no idea what any of
You
that
don't
means.
need to.
So
You gotta see the show and find
I'm going
out.
to have to see the show. We're all going to have to come out and see the show. But I'm going to step away and let the both of you show us a little bit of sword fighting. So please don't hit me with the swords.
Awesome.
And take it away. I might ask you some questions.
We want to take you through some basics, and we're not going to do anything advanced here, so no one at home is qualified to do anything. Please don't.
Listen to James.
We're going to take you through, there are 4 basic targets. I'll call them knee, knee, shoulder, shoulder. And in our world of Hamlet, there are a lot of fights throughout the show, but we end with a large duel between 2 of our main characters. It's kind of a fencing situation. So they might start like this, and they're just trying to tap each other. So I might go for Tim's knee, and he'll block me. That's called a parry. Now we focus on character. We want to see what's the natural best next move. Well, my knee is pretty open, so Tim might come for my knee, and I would parry like that. And now he's leaning towards me. I might come up for his shoulder, and he'd parry me like that. And to change it up, he might envelop my sword and expel it out. Envelop is when you wrap your sword around. Expel is when you send the other person's out. Expelliarmus, like Harry Potter. Now my knee's open. What does that mean? Tim's going to come for my knee. I'll parry it, and because we're in theater and Shakespeare and we want to be fancy, I might whip my sword around and send his out. I might come in for a feint, tap him on the side. That's a point.
It's a point. I didn't know that there was a scoring
That's
system.
a point, yeah. So they're having a traditional fencing duel. So they're scoring points until, as it happens in every fencing duel in Shakespeare, one of them reveals that they actually really just want to hurt the other guy because there's been plot that's been happening for 2 hours. Tim and I want to show you about a minute of what that might look like, a little sped up on stage. Because of all these beautiful lights and vases, we're not going to go full speed by any means, just so you know. But something practiced might look like this, where he's coming in and we're blocking, and I'm trying to hurt him, and I'm going for this, and he's coming around, and I'm going for him, and he's coming around, and I'm going for him, and I'm blocking him. I send him over. And now things are getting really intense. I know he wants to hurt me. I know I want to hurt him, so I'm going in for the kill shot. And I'm disarmed. Tim wins. We'll see how the play ends. That is not the fight that happens in Hamlet 50/50. We can't show you that. You got to come see the show to check it out, but that's a little taste of what it might look like.
Well, that was incredible. I was truly on the edge of my seat, and I mean that because I was like, are we going to break anything? But these really are professionals right here, and they do an incredible job. So, Tim, I want to ask you, I'll give you both a second to catch your breath, so don't worry, I'll talk for a minute. But what has it been like to really work so much with stage combat and to really add that kind of skill to your resume, to something that you love to do?
I think it's a chance to add an athletic element to theater. I think oftentimes you think of theater kids and then you think of athletes. And I think the ability to bridge that comes in the form of combat. And as much as we're able to do it, I think it's just a fun thing to do. You're able to move your body and forced to move your body on stage. So as someone with an athletic background, I think that's the best bridge in my mind.
Right, and it does look like it takes so much skill to be able to make that look, you know, like it is daring also, but that it is incredibly safe as well. So yeah, James, how has that worked out for you? I mean, how has it felt to really get into this skill set and be at a level where you can really do it professionally?
I love it. I truly do. Just like Tim was saying, the connection to physicality. We also, like I mentioned in the fight, we connect to character a lot. We don't just try to choreograph something that looks pretty. We get into a position and say, well, what would you do next? I'm trying to hurt you now. You're still trying to fence me.
Yeah.
That is two different ideals that are going against. We're going to move separately until you realize I'm trying to hurt you, and now you're going to adapt your movement to me. I think it's a wonderful way to get inside the character's mind.
That's incredible. A different way of thinking about it. So
Yes.
thank you to you both so
Thank
much
you.
for being here today, for showing us a little bit of how it's done. Again, don't do it at home, but come and see Hamlet
Yes.
50/50.
Of course. And we have something for you before
Oh
we leave.
my goodness.
Let's unfurl this. Your very
Oh.
own Hamlet 50/50 t-shirt, logo on the front, to be or not to be, said by
Look at
Ophelia
that.
on the back.
Yes, and we just learned that too. Thank you
Yes.
so much. So much equity in this show for all of the different
Absolutely.
actors.
Yes.
So we appreciate that, and we'll get you all that information about Hamlet 50/50 so you can come and see it coming up this week. Woo.